Okay, so also my other question is,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel? Because this record has a bunch of releases.
Yes, I was
Looks
actually
like.
just gonna mention something about that.
Because how do you feel about like remasters and people going through and releasing records with demos and remasters and alternate mixes? How does that make you feel?
It really depends on the record, like, because this one I don't think needed it. And it's weird, like the American cassette release and the American CD release, they put Blue Monday like right in the middle of the record. It's track 5,
Right.
which is weird. And then they had another song at the end called "The Beach," which I don't know The Beach at all. Blue Monday is their biggest song, though.
Oh, yeah, for
like
sure.
everybody knows Blue Monday. But it's just like there's so many of them. Like maybe do one 10-year anniversary collector's edition, something, add some extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Put it at the end. Don't put it in the middle of the record.
Yeah.
But then there's like stuff like that Iggy Pop album that he mixed, and then David Bowie mixed another version of it.
I think that stuff's cool.
That's pretty cool. They kind of both sound like shit, though. Have you listened to those?
Mm-mm.
They don't sound good. Let me see which one.
Because do you think they're money grabs for re-releases?
I think it depends on the band there too. Like
Because
the Slint album also had a collector's edition.
it does.
And I don't know. That came out way later, didn't it?
Yeah.
So if it's a re-release, that's kind of like, is a re-release a money grab?
Yeah. I mean, no matter what,
yeah.
the music industry is a money grab.
Yeah.
But I always feel like sometimes they do like pointless remasters. I would think a very good example of this is the fucking Beatles. They have been remastering and remastering and remixing their fucking albums for so long. And like the remaster for Abbey Road they did in 2019 wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like it didn't sound great.
It's like the Star Wars edits.
Yeah,
like,
it's
why are you
exactly
doing
like
this,
it's like
man?
just leave it how it fucking was because that's how we know the records and we know the
Sure.
mix. But I guess they can be
I've
cool
seen-
sometimes.
Okay, the band August Burns Red. I don't know if you've listened to them ever. They're like a metalcore band. But when they first started recording, like they weren't huge, so they had like, you know, they were getting what they could afford out of the recordings. They've gone back and remastered and I think re-recorded some of their older records, and they sound great.
Oh,
So, and I mean, nowadays that's like they put that up on Spotify, and it's like you can pick either one you want to listen to.
Yeah.
So, and I think that cleaned it up a lot, and it did more what they wanted to do, but didn't have the ability to do.
yeah.
So,
I think they can be good. I just find that sometimes they're. I don't know how much fans want to listen to that. Like even with bands that I love, I really don't give too much of a shit about the instrumental version of a song or something like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When they come out, like on the 2020 Definitive Edition bonus tracks one, there's like writing session recording, which could be cool. And then you have instrumental rough mix, John Peel session outtake, New York demo number 1,
yeah,
1983.
you don't need that shit.
It's like
Yeah.
you have this whole record filled with parentheses around every fucking song that I'm like, I kind of just want to listen to the record as it was when it came
Exactly.
out at the end of the day. Like, I think bonus tracks are cool if there's like
Bonus
B-sides or
tracks.
something, but other than that, I feel like
Yeah.
re-releases sometimes can be just like too much. It's like sensory overload.
You know what band didn't do that? Pale Horses by Me Without You. That record,
Oh.
that like the appendix or whatever they
Yeah.
called it. That's a first issue. That's how it came out.
That's cool
Yeah.
as fuck.
So they
I
just
like that.
released an album and then like another album with extra songs
That's really cool.
at the same time. Very cool.
Because everybody does that like a couple years down the line when they were like, hey, we need to. And I think it is cool for fans. I think it is cool for fans to, if they want. I don't know. If
I
anybody.
need to stop bringing up that band.
Hey, you love them. I bring up Prince and the
Yeah.
Chili Peppers all the time. Everything comes back to them.
True.
But if you listen to re-releases and like, how do you feel about re-releases? Because I have felt so like indifferent and weird about them, and I have records over there that are re-releases that have bonus tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the Soundgarden Super Unknown one has an extra song that they always wanted to put on there and shit like that. But I don't really like give that
Yeah.
much of a fuck about them.
I'd rather have like if it was released on like a shitty vinyl, I'd rather just have like a 180 grain, like
Right.
just
And-
like a nice copy of it.
Right.
I'd much rather have that. Yeah.
And I understand like a vinyl remaster because that needs it, because most vinyls do. You usually have a mix and a master for when you press vinyl. But like I find that I think some eras of music need remasters.
Okay.
The 80s being every now and then, the Loudness Wars in the late 90s, early 2000s, absolutely. Okay. And there's some records that need remastered still. Californication by the Chili Peppers is mastered like shit. It is so loud and so compressed. If you put it into an audio file, it's clipping. There's no dynamic range. It's horrible. We'll have to have a whole thing on that. Oh, that shit fucking frustrates me.
Oh, and it was also Raw Power by Iggy and the Stooges.
Oh, it was Raw Power?
Had the Bowie mix and then the Iggy mix.
That's cool. God, I haven't listened to Stooges in a while.
Yeah, they're great.
Everybody loves them.
So good. I don't know how you couldn't like them.
I know. They're super dope.
Oh, one thing, while we were talking about Me Without You, bringing it up again. What I didn't talk about that record when we had it here was how great they are at releasing things, and that record in the lyric book had a misprint, and so they just like emailed me and they were like, "Hey, we'll send you a sticker that you can put in over that page." And so they mailed for free. They just mailed me the sticker.
Yeah, they really go through the work.
They go hard. I mean, it takes them a year and a half to get any of their stuff shipped, but it's worth it.
But it's
every
worth
single
it.
time.
Yeah.
It's everything if you're looking at getting a vinyl and it's like $80, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And I think it's cool when bands take care of fans, where it's like, hey,
Definitely.
if you really like this shit, here's some stuff. And like, especially with Me Without You, how they did the release with extra shit already. I think that's cool. And it can even come to light if people are like, oh, I forgot about this record, and then they rediscover it and fall in love with it again. I think that can be cool.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I just don't really care all that much. But
yeah, I feel like the more popular an artist is, the more likely the studio's gonna like do these shitty cash grab things.
Yeah, because the fucking band, they don't give a shit at that point when they're made all that money. For like the Paul McCartney probably has to sign off on it, but he doesn't give a shit. The dude is just eating fancy vegan food and fucking hanging out playing band on the run. So, I mean, I get it. I think demos can be cool. Like the Chili Peppers' first album, I think the demos sound better than the record on that one, personally. But I think demos can be cool. I like hearing some like early raw forms every now and then, but I don't like sit down and listen to a bunch of demo stuff.
And I definitely don't want to sit down, listen to a whole album, and then listen to the demo versions of it.
Right.
Like, I'm not ever going to do that.
Right. Like, and demo's sole purpose is to just get a little bit, these days, get a better recording than your phone. Yeah. And have something that you can at least listen to in the car without it sounding like shit. Like, it's not mastered, it's not produced, there's none of that.
It's almost like we shouldn't be hearing some of that, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like meant for the state of creativity, which can be cool, but other times not so much. But yeah, that was the other thing, like you said before, we were like, hey, which version did you listen to?
That was annoying.
Yeah, and I was like, I just listened to the 8-song one. So